Allahu Akbar, a phrase known to nearly every Muslim on earth, carries within it a depth so vast, so profound, and so spiritually transformative that centuries of scholars, mystics, poets, and ordinary believers have spent lifetimes reflecting upon its meaning, yet still felt that the ocean of its reality remains endless. To many, it is translated simply as God is the greatest. But even this translation only scratches the surface. For the Arabic word Akbar does not merely indicate God's greatness in comparison to something else. It means God is greater than everything you can ever imagine, greater than everything you can see and everything you cannot, greater than your fears, your grief, your failures, your limitations, your understanding, your expectations, your world, your universe, and your very self. The phrase is a doorway to humility, a window to transcendence, and a reminder that no matter how overwhelming life may become, there exists a power above all powers, a mercy above all mercies, and a wisdom beyond all human plans. When a believer says Allahu Akbar, they are not simply reciting words. They are shifting their perspective, lifting their gaze from the temporary to the eternal, realigning their heart with the source of all existence. Throughout the history of Islam, Allahu Akbar has been the heartbeat of worship. It is the first phrase a newborn Muslim baby often hears whispered softly into their ear. And it is among the final phrases recited when that human being leaves this world. It begins every prayer, rises with the call to prayer across deserts, cities, villages, and mountains, and echoes in moments of gratitude, fear, awe, and wonder. In the earliest days of Islam, it united the hearts of believers who faced imaginable trials, reminding them that oppression, power, and worldly might are only illusions next to the eternal greatness of God. In moments of personal struggle, when a person faces heartbreak, loss, or despair, saying Allahu Akbar becomes a gentle reminder that God is still in control, that His plan is greater, and that no darkness can extinguish the light He places within a patient heart. The phrase becomes a kind of inner strength, a spiritual anchor, a steadying hand that whispers, "You are not alone. There is one who sees you, who knows you, who guides you, who never abandons you." But Allahu Akbar is not only about spiritual comfort, it is also about expanding the human mind and soul. It reminds us that no matter how much knowledge we gather, Allah's knowledge is greater. No matter how much beauty we witness, God's beauty is greater. No matter how many wonders we discover in the universe, God's wonders are greater still as we advance technologically, explore galaxies, unlock scientific mysteries, and make progress as a species. Allahu Akbar keeps us grounded in the awareness that human achievement, though extraordinary, remains a tiny drop in the endless sea of divine power. It teaches humility, not the humility that crushes the human spirit, but the humility that liberates it by acknowledging that there is meaning, purpose, and design behind every atom, every breath, and every moment of life. This understanding gives life a spiritual dimension that science alone cannot fully explain. The vastness of space, the delicate symmetry of nature, the complexity of the human heart all are reflections of divine greatness. And the believer who whispers Allahu Akbar becomes aware that everything around them is a sign, a message, a reminder of God's presence. For the modern world, where anxiety and stress have become constant companions, the phrase Allahu Akbar offers a powerful form of emotional and psychological grounding. In moments of fear, it becomes a shield. In moments of loss, it becomes a comfort. In moments of triumph, it becomes a reminder to remain humble. Psychologically, the phrase recenters the mind by shifting focus away from overwhelming thoughts toward a higher, stabilizing truth. Spiritually, it opens the heart to acceptance, not in the sense of helplessness, but in the sense of trusting a wisdom greater than our own. When a believer stands for prayer and raises their hands while saying Allahu Akbar, they symbolically leave behind their worries, their burdens, their attachments, and their worldly concerns, It is a gesture of surrender, placing everything in God's care, but a surrender that brings peace rather than defeat. Historically, mystics and Sufi poets have delved deeply into this phrase, finding in it layers of meaning that speak to the human soul in poetic ways. To them, Allahu Akbar was not just a statement of belief, but a moment of spiritual awakening and acknowledgement that the human heart is too small to contain the fullness of God's greatness, yet created with the ability to seek Him endlessly. They wrote of how the phrase lifts the veil between the material and the spiritual, reminding the seeker that the world is only a bridge and not a home. In their writings, Allahu Akbar becomes an invitation to transcend ego, pride, and selfishness, and to live with compassion, humility, and awareness of divine presence. The more a person reflects on it, the more they realize that it is not only a phrase of worship, but a philosophy of life, way of seeing the world through a lens of gratitude and wonder. In daily life, ordinary people say Allahu Akbar for countless reasons. When witnessing something beautiful, a sunrise, a newborn child, a moment of kindness, they say it out of gratitude. When facing a challenge, a test result, a moment of danger, a sudden shock, they say it seeking strength. When hearing good news, recovery from illness, the return of a loved one, a successful moment, they say it in celebration. Even in the smallest acts, like completing a task or receiving a blessing they had not expected, the phrase becomes a whisper of thanks. This universal usage shows that Allahu Akbar is not tied to only one situation or emotion. It belongs to every moment of life. It is a reminder that God's greatness is constant, no matter how much the world around us changes. In modern times, the phrase has sometimes been misunderstood by people unfamiliar with its true meaning. But for over 1 billion Muslims, it remains one of the most sacred expressions of love, devotion, and faith. It is recited in the most peaceful and spiritual moments of life during prayer. During reflection, during grief, during joy. For a believer, the phrase does not incite fear. It removes fear. It does not separate people. It connects them to their Creator. It does not glorify violence. It glorifies the Creator of peace, mercy, and life itself. Any misuse of the phrase by individuals does not represent the meaning of the phrase itself. Just as a beautiful flower does not lose its beauty because someone mishandles it, the phrase belongs to the collective spiritual heritage of Islam, and its true meaning is rooted in worship, reverence, and the pursuit of goodness. Ultimately, Allahu Akbar is an invitation to rise above the noise of the world, the weight of worries, and the limitations of the material. It calls us to remember that life, no matter how chaotic or uncertain, unfolds under the watch of a Creator whose greatness surpasses everything. When the believer says Allahu Akbar, they step into a moment of connection with the One who created time, controls destiny, and knows the deepest secrets of the heart. It is a reminder that even when you feel lost, you are held. Even when you feel broken, you can be healed. Even when you feel weak, there is strength greater than yours sustaining you. This phrase is a pillar of Islamic spirituality, a source of resilience, a declaration of hope, a celebration of divine love, and a timeless reminder that in a world full of noise, there is one truth that remains unchanging. God is greater, always, in every moment, above everything.